Paired programming is an agile development methodology. In agile software development, we focus much more on individuals and interactions and on getting working code than necessarily following a detailed plan or making sure that we document everything absolutely down to the last letter. It's a development methodology where you have two programmers working together, writing the same program at the same time. They share a computer, they share the screen, they share the keyboard, they share the mouse. Think of it a little like driving a rally stage, that one will take the driving seat position, being there at the keyboard, typing in the code line by line, whilst the partner takes something of a navigator-style role of looking at the bigger picture, checking that the code that's being written makes sense, that it's free of bugs, and that it will integrate into the software as a whole, keeping track of the features that are being implemented and the ones which are still to be ticked off.
Try and find a way to make it less blocky.
Paired programming does seem to be a more efficient way of getting good, stable code written. Very often with paired programming, because there are two programmers working together on the same body of code, the code's less likely to have bugs in it. It will run or it will compile pretty much first time. Paired programming also results in code that seems to better integrate into the rest of the software project, because I think there is that person in that navigator-style role thinking about those broader integration issues rather than just focusing on specifically implementing that feature. Paired programming also seems to be much more fun than programmers working individually. Software development is a collaborative social process, and paired programmers do seem to have a better time being able to bounce ideas off their colleague there than just individuals working on their own in a cubicle, just typing code one line at a time. In terms of education, paired programming has a lot of advantages too. If we think of Vygotsky and the ideas of social constructivism, that we learn best, not merely through experiment, not merely through making things to show to others, but through the medium of language, through being able to exchange ideas with other people, then paired programming is a great way for one student to be able to share their insights, their understanding of software, of the language that they're working in, of the processes of software development with their partner. You don't have to have two programmers who are perfectly matched for ability. Both will learn something from the other, both through the process of working alongside a more experienced or a more knowledgeable other, and through the process of explaining ideas, of articulating what it is that they're trying to do. The notion of logical reasoning in both algorithm design and coding comes down to being able to give a reason for things, being able to explain why something is as it is. And paired programming provides plenty of opportunity for students who are learning to program to have that experience.
1, 5, and round again to see if it works. Good. Yep. Yeah, that's much better. Okay.
One obvious, fairly pragmatic benefit is that you do need half as many computers if you're going to tackle things through a paired programming approach. But paired programming also is one way of avoiding all of those hands going up. Miss, can you help me with this? Because each student immediately has somebody at their side who they can turn to as the person of first resort for ideas for solving the problems that inevitably come up as code's being written. Effective paired programming can sometimes seem like organised chaos, in that there's an awful lot happening all at the same time. Even in the software industry, in houses that have adopted paired programming as a methodology, you'll often have that sense of there being a real buzz to the room, as it's not just two coders working side by side. You'll often have a whole team of programmers working collaboratively on a project as pairs, where the ideas are going not just between the members of each pair, but also between the pairs as ideas are being bounced off one another. So it can seem quite noisy. There can be movement around the room. I don't think these are particular problems. They really shouldn't be. One particular lesson, though, is that it's better for the two partners to swap over, that rather than one always taking the driving seat position, because it's a joint project, because it's a joint endeavour, it's really important that both programmers take full responsibility for that, and that's going to mean swapping between those driver and navigator type positions.
What have you done?
Paired programming really does work very well when it is two people working together. I know pragmatically in the classroom you can't always guarantee an even number of students, and in those circumstances absolutely fine to have 3 students working together on the same programming task. Much better to have groups of 3 than groups of 1, but a pair seems to be exactly the right size for both to be directly involved and to be able to take that equal share in the responsibility for the code that they write.
They take a bit longer in that position as well, so if I...
Paired programming seems a great way of getting software written. It also provides plenty of opportunity for students to learn from one another as they're working together on a software project. That said, it does seem to be something which the exam boards appear to discourage when it comes to controlled assessments, so probably not under exam conditions, I'd say.